Get inspired with the woman empowerment extraordinaire, LaMeel.
Greetings. This is Priestess LaMeel. And here we are in October. And we're going to start today as season 2. Season 2 of our regular Manifesting Magic series. We have started a new series here on LaMeel Radio called Priestess Prayers, Affirming Your Life. And so we've got 2 episodes in on that. One came out today. Be sure to catch that. Also, be sure to follow, subscribe, all of that beautiful stuff. And if you'd like to support, by all means, that information is below. And I would love to share your information, your links, things like that, in exchange for your support. So, today, I want to talk about a conversation, and I'm really going to elaborate on a conversation that I had with a girlfriend of mine. And so, what we're going to be talking about is let the past stay buried, right? Let the past stay buried. And so she's working through some limiting beliefs. And we were on the phone, and she was like, if I could just go back and figure out what was that moment, what was that thing that I believed that caused me to have the belief I have today. And as usual, I'm multitasking or whatever, and I thought about it. And I was like, listen, earlier this year, my brother-in-law had committed suicide. And so when I arrived the next day, and throughout that whole time, like, my sister was in 100% denial that he was gone, right? And we know that that's part of the grief process, etc. And so she didn't really believe it until she took the whatever they had covering his eyes, holding his eyeballs in, and she moved that and saw it fall out. And she removed the bandages and saw that the brain was gushing out. I don't mean to, I do and I don't. I don't mean to offend you, but I'm creating this imagery, right? Because she felt like she needed to see that in order to know he was dead. And the truth was, he was dead on arrival. They were keeping him alive temporarily to harvest his organs, right? And she did the same thing the year prior to when our father passed. She opened his eyes when she got into the hospital room. Like, she needed to see that there was blankness there was nothing there, in order to accept, that he had gone. And so these are the images that came into my mind when my friend is talking about, if I could just go back and figure out what was said, what was done, what day did I start believing this, blah, 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 right? And I was like, you know what? Whatever it was that caused you to have this limiting belief. So I don't remember what the limiting belief was, but let's just say the belief is that life is hard, right? That money is a struggle. Whatever it was that caused you to believe that is dead, right? It's in the past. It's been buried. It is over. And the very fact that you can't remember what it is says that that moment is not what is triggering you. And I apologize, guys. I am sitting out here at the football practice, And I'm getting eaten up by some bugs, so I'm putting on some bergamot here. But the very fact that she was no longer triggered, and it is the same for all of us. If we're not triggered by something in the past, we can't even remember it. That's not the thing that we need to address in order to move forward. We don't need to address that very instant. We need to address what's coming up. So I have an instance where I used to remember a scenario between my aunt and my cousin, and it was surrounding money. And I had forgotten as a kid. My dad had given me some money when I was visiting. And then my cousin and I went to work with my aunt, and she paid us. And so when we got in, we counted our money, and I had more money than him. And she was infuriated, right? She was like, how do you have more money than him? Where did you get that money? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember just being shocked, like, why was I being attacked about the money? And so for no reason other than I had more money than him, she opens her purse and she gives him more money. Not to equal us out, but so that he had more. And it sent a powerful message to me about me and money and my position in that family. So it stayed with me. I remembered it, in my 40s. I'm remembering the specifics. I remember the house. I remember where I was sitting and where she was standing. That was something that has not buried. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I needed to address, what did that mean? What was she selling me in that moment that I bought, and figure out how to let that go. But in this situation, Lord, these bugs. In this situation, right? There was no need to dig it up. So, I say to her, so basically, that you have this limiting belief that money is hard. And what you want to do is go into the past. You want to dig up the grave and look at it in the box and say, yep, that's why I believe money is hard. Does that fix the situation? No, but you've put a lot of time and effort and energy into the going to back and finding it and digging it up and looking at it. And then what you're doing is you are re-traumatizing yourself because you are reliving this situation. Now you've been traumatized twice. Now you've really, really confirmed and justified why you have this belief, but no work has been done to eradicate the belief. You've spent all this time and energy, and no work has been done to eradicate the belief. Going into the past and figuring out why, when it's not a trigger, is like digging up the dead. It's like needing to see the guts hanging out of the head. It is like all of those things. So what is our time and energy better spent on when we are working through limiting beliefs? It is creating a new belief. It is unhinging the current belief, right? And there's a process to that. So I believe money is hard. Is that serving me? No. Is it ultimately true? No. Well, what is ultimately true? Money is as easy as I allow it to be. Money can be easier for me. Any of those things, right? And you go down that rabbit hole. Now, how do you change that belief? Because money is hard is not a belief that you want to keep and maintain. So the way that you change that belief is to understand what a belief is. A belief is simply a thought that you just keep thinking over and over and over again. So if you decide that money is easy and money flows easily and money comes to me and I'm deserving of money and I am worthy of money and money loves me and I have a beautiful relationship with money and I'm cultivating daily my relationship with the spirit of money, then it gets to be easy. Money gets to be easy. It gets to flow. You get to live in the overflow of money, and money brings you joy, and money allows you to be of more service, and all of those fucking amazing things. So you have to then, now you have all of these new beliefs about money. So then you go into the work of consciously deciding your thoughts about money every time the situation comes up. Money comes easily to me. Money loves me. I live in the overflow of money. I have a beautiful relationship with money. I am cultivating my relationship with the spirit of money. Whatever that is. And so when things come up about money that goes, why is money hard? No. Tell that bitch to shut up. And then you remind her, money is easy. Money is, this. Money allows for this. So then you reprogram, you retrain, you redefine, you make new decisions, you get to decide. This is what it is, right? This is how money is. And once you have this new belief, right, our new beliefs move us into action. Our actions allow for what it is that we are manifesting to materialize. So you have to change your belief. It's like people who say they can't manifest. It's because they have a belief that is countering the manifestation. Always. Sometimes their will's not strong enough, things like that. But those are minor things, because you cannot believe in all of it and manifest. Like, you're manifesting every day, all day, constantly. So you get to decide, but you have to do the work. You have to be willing to reprogram yourself. You have to be willing to identify what the belief is that you no longer want, that is no longer serving you, and replace it with one that does. And the process of it is relatively simple in the moment, right? The work is picking the new thought every time, the feeling, because sometimes you feel it before you are consciously aware of the thought. So if there's a situation where you have to pay for something and you kind of feel like, right? You may not have processed the words in thought, but the energy is there, like, this is hard. Where is this going to come from? No. You tell her to shut up. And then you re-educate her on what the belief is. This is easy. Money flows in, money flows out. The more money that goes out, I get tenfold back. Money is allowing me to have X, Y, and Z. It is providing me this freedom. It is providing me with these opportunities. It is providing me with a beautiful place to live. It is keeping me safe. It is doing all of those things, whatever those things are, it's doing. And so at the end of the day, that's your work. And I want to encourage you to keep all of the old all of the old things, all of the old memories, all of the old things, experiences and situations that are not triggering you currently, let them stay dead, right? If they're not triggering you right now, there is no reason to dig them up. Because here's the thing, if they are triggering you, they're not buried. They're still on the surface. And then yes, we want to address them and replace them and understand. And that's a slightly different process, but it ends the same with, is this ultimately serving you? Right? Because if it's not serving you, like, what is this belief? And is it ultimately serving you? And if it's not serving you, let it go. Replace it with one that does. If you don't know what that should be, then ask, what would serve me in this situation? It could be about relationships. It could be about your job. I had a friend who had a job, and she used to say her job was getting in the way of her having this great business. And as a result, she never had the time to cultivate and grow her business. And so one day I was like, why don't you reframe that for something, or with something that better serves you, right? So instead of her job is getting in the way of her being great, which is what she would say sometimes, or sometimes she would say the job was getting in the way of her business being great, right? So how do you reframe that? You reframe that with, her job was really allowing her the opportunity to start a business, because that's what was funding her business. And so we reframed that with something that better served her, and then she was able to leave the job and never return. And so you have to do that with all of your beliefs. And it gets easier, right? And you can go through the process in shorter periods of time. And as you shift beliefs, depending on how long you've had them and how deeply rooted they are, they will change for you, at a speed that is dependent on how diligent you are, right? Because you can create these new beliefs that better serve you. And when you couple that with actions that support, intentional action that supports your new belief system, when you couple that with being in environments that support your new belief systems, when you couple that with conversation and things that you take in that support the new belief system, then it becomes your belief a lot faster. So again, let old beliefs that are not triggering you stay buried. And I am very inspired by this topic. I will probably do a YouTube video on it, because I think it's important, and maybe go into each of the processes. So look out for that on YouTube. As well as tomorrow, I think that our priestess prayer for affirming our lives is going to be about our relationship with the spirit of money and how amazing that is. So I love you guys for being here. I appreciate your support. I am opening up the Juicy Goddess Cleanse tomorrow. So I'll put the link in the description if you would like to join. And I'm going to take a minute or two just to talk about that. So the Juicy Goddess Cleanse. One of the things that I have really learned over the years in working with a lot of clients, and more specifically myself, is that whenever I'm having issues manifesting, whenever I am having issues with my will and directing my will, and my manifestations not being as clean as I would like them to be, right? When I have difficulty smoothing that shit out, it's time for me to cleanse. Like, there's just no doubt about it. And we have the new moon, which will be here tomorrow. And so if you are unaware, I host a Moon Goddess Circle We have in-person and Zoom events, and so you can join for free. It's a total donation base, and you get access to the Facebook group. And so I teach a lot about manifesting with the new moon, cleansing and clearing for manifestations during the full moon. And we just did a spiritual cleansing bath in preparation for opening the roads for our manifestations tomorrow, which are going to be huge. So I'm excited about that. But when manifestations are slow, right? When they're stuck, when you have done the airplane, when you feel that you have done all of your work and the manifestations are not coming in, it's time to cleanse. If you want to keep manifestations on point, if you want to elevate your manifestations, then cleansing is the way to go. So this is going to be a cleanse sort of on steroids. We've done a Juicy Goddess cleanse where we did juicing for 7 days or smoothies for 7 days. And this, however, it's a little bit different. It is going to include juice smoothies, some superfood supplements, raw food, and a mental cleansing diet for 7 days. Now, we're actually together for almost 30 days, like at least, 20 days or so. Because there's like a few days, there's like 5 days of prep where I'm explaining to you, what kind of water you need to get. You guys need to be using sea moss, what superfoods I suggest, what works for you, getting your grocery list together, deciding what method you're going to use, making sure you have the necessary equipment, just checking in, setting up your journaling process. We do all that in the beginning. And then for the 7 days, and those are pre-recorded for you. And then during the 7 days of the actual cleanse, there are pre-recorded videos, as well as I'll do a live Zoom to show how I'm prepping, what is going on, etc., and to pop in and answer any questions that you may have. And then when the 7 days are over, we've got 3 more days at least together where we check in. I check in with you. How are you feeling? What happened? What are you experiencing? So that you can transition off, and hopefully you transition off of the 7 days into a higher frequency diet, which I talk about in the program. And what that means is that I'm asking everybody to transition into a diet that is a higher frequency than when you started. So you may not be 100% raw. You may not be 50% raw. You may not even be 20% raw. But maybe now you have smoothies every day or a couple of times a week, whereas when you started, you did not at all, right? And so that eventually this Juicy Goddess cleanse is how you eat, right? And then you could take level 2, which is like raw food for 2 weeks and then raw food for 30 days. But it's an amazing program. And so you can really join at any time. However, to be a part of the lives, you would need to join leading up to the 10th. So the page opens tomorrow on the new moon. And then we have till the 10th to kind of get in and be a part of all of the lives that are going to be taking place during the 7 days. So that's amazing. And I also want to tell you guys, it's a secret, kind of, sort of. We have a whole campaign that is going to roll out after the Juicy Goddess cleanse. However, the Magical Vixen Temple has opened its doors. And so the Magical Vixen Temple is a place where you can come and learn all about magic and manifesting and really go deep into your spirituality on all levels. It is It is a sacred place where you come to learn, to be magic and create magic, to live magically, and to use magic to manifest all of your desires. And so it is a beautiful place. Right now, it is all online. All the classes are online. Some classes will be live and they'll be scheduled. And then other classes are already available. New classes are released every month, throughout the month. We have a beautiful Magical Vixen library where you can go in, you can download the books, or you can just access them straight from the library. And so every month there's new resource materials, there's new training. And so trainings are usually just one video long. That's probably just a live that I've done. Something similar to how I do in the Facebook groups, like, okay, you guys need to cleanse, right? Or it's this time of year, and so this is what we're doing. And however, there's full-blown courses, on candle magic, on the basics of magic, doing everyday magic, protection magic. We have space for over 60 different magical manifesting categories, and we focus on 10 every month. So something is coming out on those 10 categories every month. And then sometimes there's additional trainings that cover other categories. Some of the trainings and courses that come out will, of course, fit in between, 2 categories. So yeah. And right now you can join. Your first 8 days are free, so you can get in there. You can see what kind of course material there is. You can check out our resource library. You can check out the Magic and Manifesting courses, see if you enjoy my teaching style, and then if it resonates with you. Those who join during pre-launch will be grandfathered in at $33 a month for a lifetime. We are projecting that the temple fee will be $88 a month in the new year. So I would love for you all to join. Check it out. Come make and be magic with me. So thank you so much for being here. I will put all of the links in the description box, and I will see you guys next week. Lots of love.
LaMeel Radio. Empowerment radio for women, by women.